What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Gonna talk about the Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman fight that's coming up July the 20th on Fox pay-per-view. Okay, I've been listening to Keith one-time Thurman, in his recent interviews, man, and I think he's severely underestimating Manny Pacquiao. You know, you listen to some of the comments he's saying that Manny Pacquiao has bad footwork. You know, he jumps in and out, very amateurish. He said he hasn't been taught the fundamentals of boxing, and basically he's going to end up running into something, and Keith Thurman's going to knock him out. Now, I've watched Manny Pacquiao his whole career, and I've watched Keith Thurman pretty much his whole career. And I'm going to tell you one thing, man. Manny Pacquiao is not some, two left feet, off balance, non-fundamental fighter. He's got a unique style, but he's got great footwork. It's a method to his madness. If you watch his fights, man, when he's throwing the 1-2 combination punches, he makes sure that when he jumps in, that his right foot is inside of the opponent's left foot, giving him the inside position to throw his lethal combinations, his punches. You know, he's one of the best combination puncher of all time, especially in the lower weight class. He's got a tremendous 1-2 punch. And he jumps in, he jumps out, but he's very athletic. You know, it's one thing to say he's got bad footwork, and just say I agree with Keith Thurman that he does have bad footwork. He's a very athletic fighter that he can get away with. Somebody with bad footwork that's a flat-footed fighter, a guy that's slow, not fleet of foot, and has got bad footwork on top of that. Yeah, he's a walking disaster in the ring. It's just a matter of time before he gets clipped. But you're talking about a guy like Manny Pacquiao. To me, the guy got great footwork. He's not jumping in and out and like Keith Thurman say, he's jumping in and out like a bunny rabbit. That's just not the case. Yeah, he's jumping in and out, but you look at his feet, man. His feet is in the right position to throw his power punches. You got to. I don't know if Keith Thurman. I'm sure Keith Thurman and his team is looking at film of Manny Pacquiao, and they need to recognize that this is going to be a tough fight. To me, I'm not going to make a prediction right now, but right now I got it a 50-50 fight. But you let Keith Thurman tell it, man. He's going to demolish Manny Pacquiao. And when you look at Manny Pacquiao career, when he was in his prime, when he was at his apex, he only lost to 2 fighters. That was Floyd Mayweather and Juan Manuel Marquez. And Floyd Mayweather was a great defensive fighter, was able to jab Manny Pacquiao. Every time Manny Pacquiao would reset, Floyd Mayweather would put that jab in his face to keep him off balance. That's basically how he basically won that fight against Pacquiao, with his jab. He was able to shoot that jab out, control the distance, throw his pot shot from a distance, and when Pacquiao got close, he was able to tie Pacquiao up. That's how he was able to win that fight. Keith Thurman, when you look at his career, so I look at 2 fights for Keith Thurman when he's fighting at an elite level. He fought Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, and in those fights, he got hit a lot, especially in the Sean Porter fight. I thought he won that fight, but it was very competitive fight. And he got hit with a lot of shots against Sean Porter. Sean Porter was able to bully him against the ropes. And he did a lot of, he fought off the back foot a lot in that fight. He came forward too, though. He landed his power shots, and I think he hurt Sean Porter twice in that fight. He buckled his knees, and he hit him with some good overhand rights. And he caught him with some good check left hooks in that fight. But he got hit with a lot of shots. And if Sean Porter would have been a more powerful puncher, he probably could have stopped Keith Thurman. But Sean Porter is more of a volume puncher that mugs you inside, leans on you, uses his weight, size, head, and everything to make it a rough and tumble fight. And then what Sean Porter also does, he smothers a lot of his punches. So I think that takes away from his power. But Keith Thurman took a lot of punishment in that fight. Now, to me, I don't think he's been quite the same. I don't think him or Sean Porter has been the same since that fight. That fight is, a lot of people don't really talk about that fight, but that fight took a lot out of both fighters. Quiet as kept. That fight took a lot out of both fighters. When I watch Keith Thurman when he fought Danny Garcia after that fight. He looked at like the Keith Thurman that fought Sean Porter in maybe the first 4 or 5 rounds, but then he faded badly after that, man. He was able to win that fight because I don't think Danny Garcia did enough down the stretch to pull that fight out, but he basically was Keith Thurman, one-time Thurman, probably the first 4.5 rounds of that fight. And after that, man, he kind of used his legs and movement to win a split decision in that fight. But he was not the same as he was in the Sean Porter, where he was ferocious for 12 full rounds. He put on, he showed his intensity and tenacity, throwing bombs, and he was able to hurt Sean Porter. He showed a lot of grit. That's what he's going to have to show against Manny Pacquiao. So we'll see what happens, man. But I just think Keith Thurman is underestimating Manny Pacquiao. He's talking like, another thing he's saying is he's saying that he's got he's a smarter fighter. He's got a higher boxing IQ than Manny Pacquiao. That's another myth against Manny Pacquiao. I think a lot of people think he's some dumb fighter that jumps in and out and throws a lot of punches. He leaves his head wide open when he's jumping in and out trying to land his combinations. Yeah, he does. He is vulnerable, and that's boxing 101. If you're an offensive fighter and you're throwing punches and you're throwing power punches, you're trying to get your opponent idea, of course you're going to leave yourself wide open. If you're a defensive fighter with your guard up like this all the time, and you're moving forward and got throwing punches, you can survive and get beat on points, but survive and not take a lot of punishment, man. But if you're an offensive-minded fighter, you're going to leave yourself wide open. So for people to say, oh, Pacquiao defense is bad and stuff like that, well, his offense is his defense. He overwhelms you with your offense, and he makes you less inclined to throw your punches, and that is a form of defense, his overwhelming offensive force. So that's what Manny Pacquiao does. He's an offensive-minded fighter. That's what Freddie Roach teaches a lot of his fighters, to be offensive-minded and go for the knockout. So I think it's going to be a good fight, a 50-50 fight. Keith Thurman need to come in with the same intensity they came in the Sean Porter fight, and I think it'll be a great matchup, man. And it's the biggest fight of the year so far, so I'm looking forward to it. But again, he cannot underestimate Manny Pacquiao. Like I was saying about the boxing IQ, Manny Pacquiao is a very smart fighter. He does a lot of in and out movement. He does a lot of head movement when he's jumping in and jumping out. And what he does is he's trying to get you to overreact, and he's trying to set up that straight left hand. He's got one of the best straight left hands in boxing. This guy's not some guy that lacks fundamental, that's jumping in, wild man, throwing a lot of punches from different angles, jumping in and out, leaving himself open to get knocked out. That's not the case with Manny Pacquiao. It's a method to his madness, man. The guy's a big-time offensive fighter. A lot of people said in his last fight against Adrian Broner, he didn't look that well, didn't look that great, but Adrian Broner fought a defensive fight. Ever since the Marcos Maidana fight, Adrian Broner has been he's been a defensive-minded fighter, basically. He doesn't want to get hit. He's covered up. He don't want to let his hands go because, like I just said, when you let your hands go, and if you're offensive-minded, you leave yourself open to get caught with shots. And that's one of the reasons why AB didn't want to let his hands go. He was worried about the straight left of Manny Pacquiao, and he's worried about the combinations that Manny Pacquiao was throwing. Where it was going to be able to throw. And then if you trying to throw your punches, and if he got and Manny Pacquiao probably had the speed advantage. He did have a speed advantage over Adrian Broner. And if you're throwing punches and letting your hands go, you're subject to get countered by Manny. And if you still don't trust your chin all the way, especially after getting dropped by Marcos Maidana and taking a beating in that fight, you're gonna be hesitant, and you're gonna be defensive-minded fighter first and foremost. So that was the case in that fight, man. He didn't give Manny Pacquiao a lot of openings because he was basically wanted to go 12 rounds, didn't want to take a chance on his offense and get a chance of getting caught and getting knocked out. That was Adrian Broner's. That was his game plan going into that fight. He wanted to survive, go 12 rounds with Manny Pacquiao, and then cry robbery after the fight, no matter that he actually lost the fight and it wasn't really that close. That was his game plan going into the fight. He didn't come in with a game plan to try to win that fight. This fight here, I think Keith Thurman is going to come in throwing punches. I don't think Keith Thurman is going near about. Well, I think Adrian Broner punches he threw in that fight. I think the total punches against Manny Pacquiao was like 68. I think Adrian Broner landed a total of 68 punches in the Manny Pacquiao fight. That's ridiculous. You ain't got to worry about that with Keith one-time 30. He's going to let his hands go. But he's got to be understanding that he's in there with a great fighter that's going to be trying to set traps Great fighter that's going to be trying to set traps to set up his straight left, and he's got to be worried about that, because if he catch Thurman with a left that he don't see, he could hurt Keith Thurman. Once Keith Thurman is hurt, man, Manny Pacquiao is going to jump on him and try to throw those 1-2 combinations and try to get Keith Thurman up out of there. So Keith Thurman's got to be using his jab, man. He's got to use that jab. The jab is going to be the key, man, in this fight. Use that jab to keep Manny Pacquiao off balance, because you see when Manny Pacquiao throws, when he jumps in and throws the 1-2, and he jumps back out. I mean, he usually jumps back out and tries to reset. In the process of him resetting, that's when you got to shoot that jab out there. Shoot that jab out there. Go to the body of Manny Pacquiao, break him down, and that'll pay dividends later on in the fight. That'll slow him down, and that'll slow him down as far as his Manny Pacquiao wanting to come forward and be aggressive with a lot of intensity. Going to the body will slow him down in the second half of the fight. So that's another thing. Another thing that Keith Thurman's going to have to watch out for. Everybody knows that Keith Thurman is weak to the body. He got hurt by Collazo to the body. He got hurt by Jose Cito Lopez to the body. Manny Pacquiao, one thing he did do good in the Adrian Broner fight was he was able to go to the body. Adrian Broner had his guard up high, protecting his face, and so he left open. He did leave open his body, and Manny Pacquiao was able to go to the body. And that was probably his most effective punch of that fight against Broner was the left hand to the body, and the right hand to the body too. So that probably was his most effective punch in the fight. Yep. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, man. But Keith Thurman, hopefully he's ready to go, man. Hopefully he's I think he will be ready to go. But hopefully he's not underestimating Manny Pacquiao, thinking that, like I said, thinking that his guy is just some guy that's a low IQ, guy that jumps in and out of throwing wild punches, leaving his face wide open, and lacks fundamentals and stuff like that. That's what he's been saying in the interviews that I've been seeing. Hopefully he's just doing that to sell a fight, because if he go in that ring thinking that's the case, he's gonna be sadly mistaken, man. When all you got to do is go listen to what Floyd Mayweather said that he fought Manny Pacquiao. He said, I see why Manny Pacquiao was an 8-time world champion. The guy knows how to fight. He said he had to be real careful fighting Pacquiao. He said Pacquiao was trying to set traps and to set up that left hand, and he was able to hurt Mayweather in the first half of that fight, and had Mayweather on the ropes. But Mayweather is one of the great fighters, great defensive fighters of all time, and he was able to, lay on the ropes, tie Manny up, and get his gatherings and go back to using that jab. They end up winning him the fight. So we'll see what happens, man. But that's my take on it, man. I think Keith Thurman is making a big mistake in underestimating Manny Pacquiao. He needs to watch film. Hopefully he is. And he needs to understand what he's watching. If he is watching film, and understand that he's fighting a guy that is a great fighter. He might be 40 years old. He might not be as fast as he used to be, but he's still fast enough to catch Keith Thurman. And he's got to be ready, man. He's got to be on that level when he fought Sean Porter. I think he's got to be on that level when he fought Sean Porter, or when he fought Diego Chavez, on that level. If he's the Keith Thurman that fought those two fights, well, he's got a real good chance to beat Manny. But if he's the Keith Thurman that fight Jose Cito Lopez, the guy that was looking good in the first half of the fight, but in the second half of the fight faded badly, that's not gonna get it done against Manny Pacquiao. I mean, he's gonna end up losing that fight if that's the case. So we'll see what happens, man. But hopefully Keith Thurman has done his homework and he'll be ready to fight come July the 20th. Be on top of his A game, and hopefully we'll get a good fight, man. We'll see I think we are gonna have a good fight, man. Those two styles mesh well together, man. I think it's gonna be an action-packed fight, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be getting my official prediction next week, and on who I think will win the fight, man. But until then, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Get ready to fix me some dinner, man, and kick back and relax, man, and watch the ESPYs. I think it's coming on tonight. See who win best team, best athlete, and stuff like that, man. And catch that tonight, man. And I'll catch you guys later. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.